Once upon a time, two friends joined forces to bring you the best in horror entertainment. Brian from the north, Tim from the south, each bringing their own unique perspective to the horror community. Movie reviews, Blu-ray releases, beer pairings, games, and more. Welcome to your new home for horror. This is Civil Gore.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Civil Gore Podcast. I'm your host, Tim.
And this is Brian, and we are here for our September dismemberment, which is not so big, I guess, considering there's a lot of re-releases this month.
Yeah, this is not a big month for like originals and really even, typically we start seeing some of these big box sets coming out, which I know there are some on the way because we've seen some really cool ones that are like a sequel to the that folk horror box set that came out a while back. That one's coming up, but these looks like those are going to be more towards the quarter four of the year than September, because didn't really see any big box sets in this month's releases. As we did last Dismemberment, we changed the format up slightly in that we're basically not covering every single title in depth that is coming out this month. We kind of pick and choose the best of each week to cover in our traditional format, which is reading the description, reading all the extras, and then the ones that maybe don't deserve that kind of coverage, we are going to just list out and let you know about, so you will know, and if you will know about them, and if you want more information on them, you can obviously go check those out yourself. But trying to save a little bit of time and keep these dismemberments from running like 2 hours, like they were, or an hour and a half sometimes when the release season heated up. We thought this would be a more consistent experience, keeping these shows, under an hour. So, without further ado, we have the week of September 3rd. This was kind of a strange week because literally every title that came out this week really had no extras to speak of. These are basically reissue standalone titles, and as such, we really didn't feel the need to go into depth into any of these. And if you look at these, most of these are from, there's 3 of these titles are from Sandpiper Pictures, which doesn't seem to have been doing a lot of extras, and then Paramount, which of course traditionally doesn't do a lot of extras, and then 2 Shout Factories, which they normally do, but these are not their collector's editions. These are kind of their standalone titles, so sometimes they release bare bones standalone films in that series. So first up from Shout Factory, we had the Amityville Horror 4K, and this is the 2005 remake, which I actually enjoyed for what it was. It wasn't as good as the original. I think the original's really good, but I mean, it's not a terrible remake as far as horror remakes go.
Well, this is the Ryan Reynolds vehicle.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know why I wanted to say his name that way just now, but
I like it.
It makes no sense because it's like the Y is before it, but oh well.
I guess I'm just going to read these, Brian, since we're not really discussing. The Boy 4K is also coming out from Shout Factory. That was 2016. That was actually
I read
really
that as
good
The Boy.
Yeah,
by the way, because I looked quickly and I'm like, what the heck is The Boy? But then I realized it says The Boy 4K.
Yeah, The Boy. I actually like this one as well. I thought it was a decent.
The sequel wasn't terrible. I was surprised.
It wasn't terrible. I think they're enjoyable popcorn movies. There's nothing wrong with them. I liked actually both of them. Hey, popcorn.
We need that as an ad. We need to put that in. See, we really need to we're not. We kind of went back on our word, Tim. We never really used Riverside for
I know.
Things that we want like that. Like every time we say popcorn, you could just hit the thing, go, hey, popcorn.
If you give me the sound file, I will promise I will do it.
Okay, yeah. You know what? That's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to start. We're going to get some free time this week. I'm going to work on just collecting sound bites, and then I'm going to send them all, put them in the share drive. Then you can pull them into Riverside, and I think you could just open up that soundboard and then hit them.
Yeah, we have a soundboard that, and I don't know if I have any good ones right now. Let's see.
Other than it's like opening and closings, right? You have on there, but
there you go. There's a drum thing. So you're supposed to do that when we do a joke. I don't know.
I don't hear it on my end though. It doesn't come out. It's weird.
It's doing it on mine. Well, yeah, maybe not. Maybe. Well, I think in the episode you'll hear it, but maybe you.
Oh, but I don't hear it here.
Maybe I'm the only one that hears it. I don't know.
No fair.
I don't know. Can you hear it now? Let's see. No, I guess not because it didn't play.
Yeah, but it's weird. I hear when you add the opening, so it
Yeah,
must be there some way. Maybe it's
I
just you
don't
have
know.
to hit it like a certain way.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
We're still kind of playing around with this whole thing, but at some point it's gonna be like the Morning Zoo radio show. We're gonna have
it
like
will.
all kinds of crazy stuff. Next up we had The Hound of the Baskervilles from 1959, which I don't really think of as horror because that's Sherlock Holmes, but
Yeah.
IMDb listed it as horror, so I went with it.
I mean,
Um,
honestly, I remember reading that, but it was one of the earliest books I remember, like actual books I remember reading. That's not not like
yeah,
a little kid's book or something. And I remember having that. Like, I got a whole bunch of like it was some kind of set I got of books, or it was either one of those once a month thing clubs or something. I don't know something how I got it, but I remember that was one of them. And I got it was like the Sherlock Holmes series, and I got that, and that was the one I read. And I remember thinking it was kind of a horror like
it's probably the
tale.
closest Sherlock Holmes gets to horror, I think. I
Yeah.
would say, yeah. Next up, we had Lady in White from 1988. This is one I'm really due for a rewatch. I don't think I've seen this since I was younger, like a kid. That one used to come on. I feel like it came on TV a lot.
Yeah.
The next one up is Lord of Illusions from 1995. That's a good one. I watched that one a few years back for the horror challenge, and I had not seen it. And I don't think I'd ever seen it, to be
Yeah.
honest. And I really enjoyed that one. And then last up, we had Paramount Pictures Sweeney Todd, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street, 4K from
This is
2007.
the Johnny Depp one, right? I
The Johnny
assume.
Depp vehicle, yes, yes.
I was as much as I love the story. I don't know why. I just didn't think the movie hit it as good as it should have been. I
No,
don't
I mean
know.
I watched it, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I don't. I'm gonna maybe this is a unpopular opinion. I think Helena Bonham Carter is like I think she overacts in literally everything she does,
Mm.
especially when she's paired with Johnny Depp or anybody, Tim Burton, any of that mess. Like she's like it's distracting to me how overacting she is. And maybe she's done some movies that that I haven't, like some dramas and stuff that may have appreciate her more, but
What
I
did
don't
you
know. For some reason, she rubs me the wrong way.
what did you hear? It reminded me of like what Ketrin said in the last Kim and Ket, where she said Heather Graham is either the worst actress in the world or the absolute best actress in the world. And that's how she said it, because she's like, because and in that movie, like in Suitable Flesh, kept saying it. She goes back and forth because she couldn't tell if she was just like that good or that bad against sequences.
I
And I
know
know what
it.
she meant by it. I know
Yeah,
what she meant, because the same. I see what you mean about Helena Bonham Carter. I mean, like, she actually she's a really good actress. But you're right. I think when she's mixed in with things, you don't know if she's like that's what they told her to do, like, and like, it's
yeah.
not really her fault. It's like the way they edited it and had her,
I
had her
think
do it.
I think I'm also my opinion has also been colored by my brother's podcast, The Fox and the Foxhound, because they talk about her a lot about
Oh,
in the Harry
yeah,
Potter films and how much they dislike her portrayal
because
of
of Bellatrix.
Bellatrix.
Yeah. Well, in the
And
book, yeah, she
yeah,
doesn't seem like how I'd picture her in the book either.
she's
And I'm not.
not.
Yeah, I mean, the
I mean,
Bellatrix book is like they kind of make her kind of like as evil as she is in the movie. They kind of make her a little too goofy too.
exactly. Yeah, they talk about that on several of their episodes. I've heard them mention that she just doesn't match what the book character is at all. Like she's like this cartoonish villain, which
Yeah,
she's not
and I mean,
really.
I see why. I mean, when it comes to like those movies, it's like as the later books get dark, and this, I'm sure Kevin and Amanda will be very happy for this great big long extra promo we're giving for their podcast. But yeah, no, it's I think they try, because deep down Harry Potter is still for kids, so even the darkest episodes they had to kind of put some of that. They couldn't make it so scary that, like, I think that a lot of the kids would go. But I don't know. My opinion is like, listen, most of the kids that were reading that were growing up along with it, so they could probably handle proper portrayal at that point in time if they were reading it as the age of the
Yeah,
kids. But
I
what
don't
do
know.
I know? What do I
And
know?
we had two steelbooks this week. We had Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey steelbook, which is surprising because I've always thought of these steelbooks as being like these older titles, but these things are getting popular now. I mean, we're
Yeah,
getting steelbooks right and left for like even brand new movies. I don't know what the deal is with the steelbooks, but man, they're blowing up. I mean, we're getting them like almost every week now. So Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey steelbook if you're into that,
yeah.
and a Creepshow 4K, the original Creepshow 1982 4K version in a steelbook form. So I'm gonna have to check some of these out. I keep meaning every time I go into Walmart, I forget to do it. I
Oh,
want to go over there
I,
and check these out.
I forgot to tell you, I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts now that I've been binging back because I was listening to some of it and then I decided to go back all the way in the beginning when it was early thing with and that's Katie Afraidy. And she was doing a creep show episode and she called them water zombies, by the way. And I'm like,
Uh,
see, it's
yeah,
not just Tim and I.
it's not
Other
just
people
us.
realize what a water zombie is, and that is the proper
Exactly.
term. And that needs to be like, as Mark Duplass would say, in his great show, The League, it is decided. So it's decided that that is
Exactly.
now those are cold water zombies from now on. So
All right, so quick recap of September 3rd. We had Amityville Horror 4K, The Boy 4K, Hound of the Baskervilles from 59, Lady in White from 1988, Lord of Illusions from 1995, Sweeney Todd, The Demon Barber Fleet Street 4K from 2007, and a couple of steelbooks there for you. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and Creep Show 4K.
hey, do you think if they up the K just a little bit, it's 5K, people are getting confused and think it's like a race and not an actual
I
Blu-ray
don't
release?
even know. It's so weird. The physical media is in such a weird state right now because, like, it most people, I don't know where people land on, like, do most people have 4K TVs now or do they not? I don't know. I don't know where this stuff is landing now. Like,
I
do we
think
need to
on
put
Yeah, I
do we
think
need to put
honestly they're
4K on the
coming.
title anymore?
Yeah, you're right because I think honestly the 4Ks have been almost like that's like what you're when you go to buy a TV, it's almost you have to like go out of your way I think to buy a non 4K, don't you?
I mean, I remember when
I
the
feel like
4K Blu-rays came out, they were like twice as expensive,
yeah.
and there was a definite need to categorize them differently because not many people had 4K TVs. These things were like $40 a pop.
Yeah.
But now that's like it's almost like the standard. Like everything comes in 4K now, just about.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why I'm not jumping on and getting things in 4K, I mean, one is because like right now, I mean, the way I'm watching, I mean, the way where my setup is until I get my new TV anyway, right now we are just using a little one until we get the new house set up and everything. I'm gonna put that's when I'm gonna get a good 4K TV. And then maybe I'll start to do it. But you know what it is? I kind of got used to like it's the whole why I don't like getting steelbook thing because I have this whole shelf, the monolith of all blue things, and now there's going to
Yeah.
be like the dark black barrier, and I'm like, this is annoying. This is what like I'm like it could. I know they wanted 4K, but couldn't they just trust people to read and make it 4K and use the same color scheme? So now I don't have
I
like a
know.
weird
Yeah.
looking shelf of things. But
I know.
I
Just
don't know.
keep this. Oh well. All right. So
Whatever.
September 10th. This is a little bit meatier week here.
Yeah.
We had first of all, again, what I'm really looking forward to. Decal is releasing Longlegs 4K. Of course, this came out this year. FBI agent Lee Harker is assigned to an unsolved serial killer case that takes unexpected turns, revealing evidence of the occult. Harker discovers a personal connection to the killer and must stop him before he strikes again. Now, as with a lot of brand new titles that were just recently in theaters, this one does not have any special features. I would not be surprised to see this come out in some kind of collector's edition in the future. So I'm probably going to hold off on buying this one because I have a feeling that this is a movie that's popular enough. It's probably going to get a special edition at some point.
Well, yeah, like that big like Umbrella Entertainment will pick it up, and like that giant Hell House set I ordered, or like the Frogman set. Like one of those companies is gonna grab it. And I think with it being neon, I have a feeling it'll be one of those like lesser ones. Like I don't even think it'll go to Shout Factory or Arrow. I think it'll be one of those like Umbrella or Scream Team releasing one of those cool
Yeah.
places. I'm thinking I would think Umbrella possibly, just because or what's the other one that forgot the one like maybe even I mean honestly even maybe even Vinegar Syndrome, someone like that, because they've been grabbing some of these newer movies and releasing these amazing sets on. So I think it's gonna be one of those if you're gonna grab Long Legs and make it into a really good set. Like you're gonna get like an ultimate set because I think they just wanted this out now because it's not in theater, and I think so many people like loved it so much and it did so well. They're like, shoot, let's just get it out there because people are gonna scoop it up and then
Yeah.
they'll probably buy another one when it comes out. So
This is kind of like an anti-pick of the week. I would say as a collector, I would, unless you really just want to see this movie over and over again, I would almost say hold off on buying this one and wait for the special edition, which will be inevitably coming out probably next year, I would assume.
yeah, the only reason I may buy it is because I know Julie wants to see it, so
Yeah,
and
I
she
mean,
didn't
if you
get to
have no
see
other
it
way
with
to
me,
see it
so
and you haven't seen it, I would say definitely. I mean, that's not like it's gonna be that expensive,
I mean,
for
yeah,
a
I mean
standalone title.
it's probably gonna be like under $20, and if you were to rent it, it'd be right now it's the same thing, and yes, it'll probably come to a streaming service, but who knows when and who knows which one anymore. So
Yeah,
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 yeah, I may just pick it up if it's like anyway, just to have it, but and it's not like I haven't bought and then rebought again.
double dipped.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
we've
it's
all
like I
done
mean I
that.
double dip more than Costanza, so it's like I'm gonna not that big of a deal. Um, so I guess the next one we go is Shout Factory it's kind of a re-release with the classic The Stepfather in 4K. So as a seemingly average man, after murdering his entire family, remarries a widow with a teenage daughter in another town and prepares to do it all over again. Of course, there's like 3 of those, I think, right? And then a remake, I think they did, right?
Yeah, I think they did a remake. Yeah,
Yeah, with the son. I guess it was a boy. It was a son this time. Anyway, this one's the original 1987 vehicle with, of course, the great Jill Schoelen. And this one's got a decent bit of extras here. So it's got on disc one, it's got the 4K Blu-ray with the restoration. It's got the audio commentary with actor Jill Schoelen and filmmaker Jackson Stewart, who I actually uh, I've met. Anyway, uh, film critic Megan Navarro, there's a commentary with, who I don't know if you follow her, but she does a lot of good reviews. You follow her on Twitter. She gives a lot of good things. New audio commentary with film critic. He's getting up
oh,
there.
just
Kier Gomes, and audio commentary with director Joseph Rubin.
yeah, 4
Also the
commentaries.
disc.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then I'm sorry, I thought that was it on this disc, but no, there's disc two, which is the Blu-ray, and it has new Phantom of the Family, an interview with actor Jill Schoelen. The Stepfather Chronicles, a retrospective interviews with director Joseph Rubin. Producer Jay Benson, actress Jill Schoelen, author Brian Garfield, and others in the making of the film and its enduring legacy. Trailers for all 3 films, and still gallery.
Very nice.
Yes.
VCI is up next, but this one's a kind of a cool double feature. I like this one. This one I might kind of want to pick up. This is Dark Night of the Scarecrow 1 and 2 4K. Of course, the original was from 1981, and then they did the sequel many decades later in 2022. And this one has some great extras on it as well. As a
And this is a long delayed disc, by the way. This was supposed to come out earlier in the year because I had it on pre-order, and I don't know
Oh,
if it was like
really?
a limited edition that was left, but based on the stuff that's on there, this is exactly what I remember on there. So I think it got pushed back
Yeah,
um
it might have.
for a while, and now it's finally being released because like it
Uh,
was in my list, and then it like all of a sudden went like out of stock. You know how Amazon will do that? And
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
there's no way this sold out. Like, I mean, I know it's popular, but there's no
It's
way
not
this one
that
sold out.
much.
And then it popped back on again. So I'm like, oh, they probably moved it. So anyway,
Yeah, it has some really good extras. Has a new triple fan audio commentary hosted by Heath Holland of Serial at Midnight podcast and featuring Robert Kelly, a noted film historian,
oh
and
shoot,
super
we didn't catch him.
and super
Oh,
fan Amanda Reyes, an expert on TV, movies, author, and podcaster.
so I messed up. I thought the noted film historian was Amanda Reyes because she is one. We know that, and we have her in there. I didn't realize Robert Kelly was one, so I didn't
It's
look
weird they
anything up for
switched
him.
places because they made Amanda Reyes the super fan
Yeah, and
and made
she's
Robert Kelly the film historian.
yeah, and as far as I know, I don't think we've had Robert Kelly here, and so I must have
We'll have to catch him on
yeah,
the
I
next
didn't
time.
read him. Yeah, so that's my bad on that one. Because the way it was worded, it looked like it was they were talking about Amanda Reyes because I know her film historianshipness. I don't know. Whatever.
New audio commentary from Dark Knight of the Scarecrow for Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, the original, by J.D. Feigelson from 2023. Audio commentary from the original movie with writer J.D. Feigelson and director Frank De Filita. It looks like an older commentary.
You got a fun thing
Yeah.
here.
Bubba Didn't Do It, 30 Years of the Scarecrow by Daniel Griffith feature. Dark Knight of the Scarecrow's cast reunion Q&A recorded at the 2011 Fright Fest Film Festival, CBS World Premiere broadcast promo, CBS Network rebroadcast promo, and photo gallery and behind the scenes. That's a cool
I
little set.
actually remember when it debuted on regular TV. I watched it on TV when I was a kid. I remember that actually, which is crazy. So, and yeah, I have not seen the second one yet, though. I was waiting for this set, and like, because I missed it when it streamed, and then
I don't
eventually
know that
now I
I've
can
seen
get
the
it.
second one now that you mention it. I may
It
not
was it
have.
was like straight to a streaming service, I believe it came out, and I don't remember
Yeah.
which one now, but or was it on Sci-Fi or something? It was on like it was like a one of those something like that, and then I just never got to see it. So, but I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy that 2-pack I knew was coming out, so I'll probably just pick this one up anyway. So,
Next one is yours, Brian. The
oh, I thought there was
Antichrist.
still more. Sorry, I didn't
No.
realize you had gotten to the. You see I gotta switch this format a little. I get confused at like which is which on here. Um, there's the next one is the Antichrist, 4K, not to be confused with Lars von Trier's Antichrist with the Willem Dafoe vehicle and his
No.
confusing member.
Yeah.
This one's from 1974, and this is Ippolita is a paralyzed young woman with serious mental problems stemming from the death of her mother. Her crisis of faith and the intervention of a well-meaning psychologist lead Ippolita, or it's probably Ippolita,
Ippolita.
to remember her past life in which, during the Inquisition, wait, oh, as a witch during the Inquisition. Okay, I was like, I said witch. I thought it said witch was during the Inquisition. Okay, I can read. I gotta make this bigger. There we go. Eventually, Ippolita becomes possessed and starts seducing local men, only to kill them. An exorcism seems to be the only solution to stop the madness.
Ooh,
So
this is a birthday
Ippolita,
movie. I gotta watch this one.
yeah, I know. I was gonna say that's like a Tim. It's got to go on Tim's list automatically. This has got some features. It's got previously restored in 4K by Studio Canal, audio commentary by author, film historian Lee Gambin, and film critic Sally Christie. But Lee Gambin, of course, we know he's been a longtime film historian. When he's alone, he becomes Eeyore, and as he's teamed up with John Harrison, they become two wild and crazy guys. They come as a pair, always in wacky costumes and outfits, and they put the fun in film historian. Makes no
Which in our
sense.
next disc, they actually do pair up.
Yeah, they
which is
actually do become that, so we're not going to read them again. Just remember
Yeah.
what I said. Okay. This also has Raising Hell featurette with director co-writer Alberto Di Martino and composer Ennio Morricone. So that's a good soundtrack composer right there.
Yeah.
TV spot and The Tempter opening credits. Not sure what that means. I assume this is, I guess, an AKA possibly title.
Yeah.
And it was one time known as The
Tempter.
Tempter, which kind of makes sense based off the plot. And I guess they had its own credits for that.
Next up from Kino Lorber, another good one, Zoltan, Hound of Dracula 4K.
You got to do that, though, from like, Dude, Where's My Car? Remember? Zoltan.
I think I've actually seen this one. This was from 1977. How can you not watch a movie about Dracula's dog?
Right,
Russian
Called
soldier.
something else, though? That's what I think it was.
Oh, this one has a ton of AKAs. This one
does it? So
yeah.
we saw it under the
Russian soldiers accidentally unleashed a servant of Dracula as well as his dog during excavations of Romania. Together, they set out for America to find the last descendant of the Great Count. This one has another one that's previously restored in 4K on behalf of Studio Canal. Audio commentary by film historians Lee Gambin and John Harrison, which we just discussed. Dracula's Dog radio spot and a theatrical trailer. That's a neat little title to be on Blu-ray.
Yeah, why did they call it Barkula? Right?
Missed opportunity.
But if we saw the other AKA version, does it count that we saw it? Sorry, that was terrible. That was terrible.
We could come up with a bunch of I think we could come up with a bunch of Dracula dog titles.
Oh yeah, easily. Like Nick marks the spot. Yeah, it's easy kind of thing. Okay. You want me to read the rest of them?
Yeah, just read the rest of them. Yeah. These are the ones we're not going into detail on. These are just kind of some other ones that we're throwing out there.
Yeah,
we could talk a bit about them if you want to.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they're pretty much they're either re-releases or like pieces of sets or just really have no features. But one is Strangers 4K. That's a 2008 Stranger one though. That's the original one.
Yeah.
Tremors 2, Aftershocks in 4K, which is weird because I just bought that 7-pack set.
This one's weird. So Arrow did this one. I had to double check that it wasn't related to the other set, but this is a standalone Arrow like collector's edition of Tremors 2. It's got a ton of extras on it, but it's like its own thing. I don't know why they picked Tremors 2 to do this special thing on, but there it is.
Honestly, I'm like happy with the set I got because I got it like I had some Amazon points, so I ended up getting it for $25, and it had all seven Tremors films plus their digital copies. So
and it still has good extras on it. Like that set, that set does have good extras.
Yeah, so like there was to me, this is just I'm not gonna buy that just for Tremors 2, which honestly I can't even remember if I've seen. I know I've just seen the first one 100%. I don't remember if I've seen what other ones I've seen. Like if I've seen it was 2 or it was 3 or. Honestly, I don't remember, but I figured it was good because it'll be an eventual slaycation.
Oh yeah,
Then
definitely.
there's Kill 4K, House of Dolls, Doll Graveyard. So I assume those movies, all even though they're different
No, they're not
companies,
any
they're not
related.
related.
There
They're
just
not
happen to be
related
two
anyway.
doll movies in the same. Yeah, Full Moon Doll Graveyard. I need to try to track down. It looked very puppet mastery, very
Oh,
puppet mastery.
I wonder if it's on the Full Moon
Oh, I'm sure it
streaming
is.
service.
I'm
If
sure it
not, it
is.
will be. That
Yeah, I
thing,
need
I
to check
swear to
that
God,
one.
I've never seen a streaming service that just adds movies and never takes any away. It's like every time I look, it's like a new edition.
It's like
But
a
if I
movie
scroll down,
hoarder.
everything that was ever there is still there. It's
That's
great.
awesome.
I
Yeah,
love that Full Moon show. I will pay for that $60 every year because it's like I always will find myself like granted, I don't use it as much as probably the $60 I spend on it. I probably should use it more with that commitment. But you know what? Honestly, I like that it's there. That anytime I need to find a full moon movie, there's always waiting for me kind of thing. So I don't mind. I like supporting that thing anyway.
yeah.
It's almost like a
They're cool.
donation, so they're to their longevity in my eyes. So the
Uh,
final one, there's 3 steelbooks actually here. There's a Late Night with the Devil one, The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live season 1, and then Kill 4K is in a steelbook. So this movie, which one is Kill 4K? Which is
yeah,
the
just
movie?
yeah. It came out. It came out last. Some new movie that came out last year. But yeah, they released the steelbook version as
Do I
well.
not know what it is? What is Kill? Oh, this is it. Oh, it's a wait a minute. This isn't even a horror movie. Unless
It was definitely horror.
unless then there's another movie called Kill. Wait, I mean not that that's that original title.
Oh, is it? It's showing. Oh, you know what? Maybe it is an action movie. Because now
Well,
that I'm looking at it, but I thought I looked it up. It was
well, no,
listed
it's
on
an
the Blu-ray.
action thing. There's a bunch of like things. It's just one of them is not
Yeah,
horror, which is
I'll
odd.
scrap that one
Either
because
way,
when
we're
I
not
looked at it
gonna.
on the
It's not
Blu-ray
our pick of
release,
the week or anything.
they had it listed as horror. But
It might be. No, sometimes IMDb lately I've noticed has been bad when it comes to titles that are already there and they share titles. Because there was one movie I was trying to look up and I'm like, I was trying to find something on it and I could not find it. So finally what I did is I looked up an actor and linked to it and was typing everything in right. It just was not coming up when I
yeah, I
searched the
noticed that
movie.
too.
I
Yeah, I
don't know
noticed
what's
that
with
too.
IMDb's algorithms lately, but it's something wrong with it. I mean, who would I even contact to fix that? Like, is there like Bob IMDb somewhere? I don't know.
I'll recap these real quick. We have Longlegs 4K coming out, The Stepfather 4K, Dark Knight of the Scarecrow double pack 1 and 2 4K, The Antichrist from 1974 4K, Zoltan Hound of Dracula 4K from 77, and then a bunch of other minor titles, Strangers 4K from 2008, Tremors 2 Arrow release from 96. That's kind of a collector's edition. House of Dolls from 2023 and Doll Graveyard from 2005, and the aforementioned Kill 4K, which we think is maybe not even an actual horror movie, but more of a crime thriller. So that brings us to September 17th. Some interesting titles this week.
Yeah, it's a
there's
weird smattering of like
there's three.
known ones, not known ones, and like a remake. So I don't. Yeah.
This one was I wanted to highlight these 3 titles. So I found them
Yeah.
kind of interesting. It has some really good extras. The first one up is a Arrow release of Friday the 13th 4K, and this is the 2009 reboot of the franchise. Which
And that's not is that in our set, our good like Shout Factory set?
Ooh.
Because this is from Arrow. I'm pretty sure it is, right? I'm pretty sure
I'm
our
pretty
set
sure
is
it
in Arrow.
is. Yeah,
And I have the killer cut, like from the original version.
I've got the
released.
standalone disc as well. So even if it's not in my box set, I've definitely got it in the
Yeah,
standalone version.
and I have it too. I just don't understand. Like, I don't know. None of these things feature say new on them. So is
Yeah,
it?
I don't.
So
Yeah, I don't. Well, there are some new commentaries,
oh, there is.
and
It
I
does
think
say
that's
Oh, you're right.
yeah,
Brand new audio commentary. Okay. Oh, so
and I
I'm gonna have
think
to
that's
buy
the
this damn
reason
thing.
for this reissue. But the 2000. I actually like this one. I remember when I saw it in the theater, I enjoyed it. I don't
I
think
did
it's a
too.
terrible remake. I think it's
I-
pretty decent.
Honestly, it went back. What I thought is it went back to what everyone loves about Friday the 13th. There was like, the scantily clad women, people getting hacked up. There was good gore. And what I liked about it is that it kind of like, it was a reboot. So they could have easily just rebooted the first movie. But I like how they kind of did the whole, through the opening credits, they kind of caught you up on that. So they didn't have to do the quote unquote origin story again. And it
Yeah,
was, I mean, I know some people, the things that people didn't like, and not that I want to get onto this whole Friday the 13th debate, because you can debate every movie, debate everything, but we were kind of touching on this the other day. So if you look at that movie, a lot of people, I remember, they criticized, they didn't like that Jason ran, and they didn't like that he was like keeping a hostage, you know. But you're looking at Jason like, most people remember Jason as like zombie Jason. But if you think of it like, and this is said in those R.G. Henning books and stuff too, like a little bit, if you look at like Friday the 13th Part 1, right? Totally plausible, could happen, right? Part 2 could technically happen if Jason actually never drowned and washed up on shore and was just lost. I mean, obviously he was a scared little boy, he didn't know where he was going. It could have legit have taken years for him to find his way back, like, and to
Mhm.
grow up. He could go grow up in the woods. And Tim made you made the interesting point that I never even took for granted. Like, yes, you just assume Jason was this really young child, but since he had mental issues. I mean, he could have been much older than the campers that he was with. He could have already been 16 or 17. So did he
Right.
need to grow that much? So there's a lot there if you really look at it. So the way I look at this one is, this seems like more of a proper representation. If someone supposedly drowned but never actually drowned and was living off in the woods,
Well,
he
yeah,
would have learned to keep track. Like, he wouldn't realize you're necessarily a person, and you're any different from any kind of animal you might trap to kill for food. And he recognized that it looked like his mother, so he trapped this woman, and he set up little traps and bells and everything. I don't think that's that. It's like, he just basically got his animal instincts and his hunting instincts, which developed out of pure
it was a different
survival.
take. I liked it.
Yeah,
I thought it was kind of like trying to erase all the ridiculous. Because I mean, I don't care if you're a Friday the 13th fan. This stuff is ridiculous. Like the
yeah,
turning back into a kid from toxic waste and all this
yeah. I mean, all these
ridiculous
weird
stuff,
things,
coming
and
back to life with lightning and you're hitting a crowbar. I mean, this stuff or whatever it was. I can't remember, a crowbar or a fence
it was
spike,
like that. I
whatever.
think that it was the fence piece
Fence
from
spike,
the
yeah.
cemetery.
And I'm
Yeah,
like, this was at least an attempt to try to retcon and make it somewhat believable that Jason is like this dude that lives out in the wood. I appreciated
yeah.
it for that. I
I
thought it
did
was
too.
a
I
cool take
enjoyed
on it.
it. Like, I went into that like, okay, look, I will first admit, like, as much, even though it's like, I don't think it's the piece of garbage everyone says it is. I was disappointed with the Nightmare on Elm Street remake,
Yes,
just
me
because
too.
it just wasn't, it didn't capture the same, like, it didn't have the same feeling as the original. And nothing against Jack Hurley. We've had this debate. He was
Yeah,
fine in it. He was good. They gave him the script what he did. It's not his fault what the kind of script they gave him. It's just the movie itself just didn't hit. Like, it didn't quite hit the way that was. But with a Jason movie, there's really not much there that you need to kind of like capture to make it a Friday the 13th movie. You need people get it. Like I said, you need people at the lake getting hacked up, scantily clad women. Not to sound offensive, I'm just saying that's what these movies were,
right. Yeah.
and that's what it is. And that's what it gave you. And with a slightly different take that wasn't so outlandish that people should be going so crazy about it. I mean, I do know there's a large swath of people that are like very like huge fans of the remake. I'm kind of like, I mean, I'm kind of, I wouldn't say I'm like a super fan of it, but I definitely liked it, and I liked it better than some of the originals in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I thought it had good kills and everything. But anyway,
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess I don't know if we've ever covered this remake. Maybe we have. I don't
Oh,
remember.
we
We had
did
300.
in the Slaycation. I mean,
Oh
when we
yeah,
did the
yeah, yeah.
Slaycation,
You're
we
right. You're
covered
right.
all
Yeah.
of them. So
So this one has a lot of good features. It's got two cuts of the film, the theatrical 97-minute cut and the extended killer cut of 105 minutes. Double-sided fold-out poster featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Gary Pullen. Limited edition greetings from Crystal Lake postcard. Illustrated collector's booklet featuring new writing on the film by Matt Konopka and Alexandra West. Reversible sleeve featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Gary Pullen. And then on disc 1, which is the theatrical cut, of course, it's got a 4K presentation. Brand new audio commentary by director Marcus Nispel. Brand new audio commentary by writers Mark Swift and Damian Shannon. Brand new interview with director Marcus Nispel. Brand new interview with writers Mark Swift and Damian Shannon. Brand new interview with cinematographer Daniel Pearl. A killer new beginning, an exclusive video essay about why horror fans shouldn't fear remakes, what 2009's Friday the 13th remake gets right, and why the film serves as a perfect template for future franchise remakes by film critic Matt Donato. That's got to be
Oh,
interesting.
that's gotta, yeah. I wonder if that's on any of my, because it doesn't say it's new. So I'm wondering
Yeah,
if that's on any of my any of the previous discs, because that's actually that's almost like what we were talking about, kind
yeah,
of thing. Like,
exactly.
you know, so
Excerpts from the Terror Trivia track, the Rebirth of Jason Voorhees archival featurette, Hacking Back Slashing Forward archival featurette, the 7 Best Kills archival featurette, deleted scenes, original teaser trailer and TV spots, electronic press kit, and image gallery. Disc 2 is the killer cut and has a brand new audio commentary by film critics, in this case, Alexandra Heller-Nicholas and Josh Nelson.
yeah. And by the way, I think I could already probably predict this now. Unfortunately, I feel like because of that slight delay, we're not going to get Crystal Lake this year like we were supposed to get. So I'm
Yeah,
going to lose that thing. And I was going to get it if it wasn't that dumb delay and they switched with the thing, because now it's back on track in good hands, but it's probably going to make it now. 2025 is going to be released.
yeah,
So
your Ghostradamus prediction is
I
going to
know. And
fail
it was,
by a
and it,
technicality.
yeah, but I mean, I'm accepting the result because listen, that's the risk of a Ghostradamus. You know, a million things could happen. That's why it's a prediction and not like, you know. But next one is this one's a kind of I have a funny brief story with this. Arrow 4K's release of Torso from 1973. It says a series of sex murders shock a college campus, and 4 beautiful young girlfriends head for the safety of an isolated country villa. But as they succumb to their own erotic desires, their weekend of pleasure become a vacation of dismemberment at the hands and blade of a lecherous maniac. There's a lot of descriptive terms in there. The funny story I'm going to tell quickly is right when I don't know if you remember this, Tim. Right when we started the podcast and we were trying to just watch movies for the, you know, to try and keep stuff going, stuff to talk about. I think this had hit Shudder, right? We're in early infancy of Shudder, and you told me about it to watch it. I'm like, all right, let me go watch this. And I decided to watch it like in the lunchroom at work. And about 15 minutes in, I'm like, there's no way I could watch this. If someone walks behind me, they think I'm watching a porn. There was just way too much nudity, like in this movie, to watch in a public setting. You know, like not one you want to watch on the plane. You're not going to want to watch on the. So yeah, but overall, it's a really good movie. I eventually watched it later on. I think I might have a copy of it. I may have a regular release of this, if I remember correctly. But yeah, overall, it's definitely a fun movie. Lots of
It
features
definitely
on
got
it
one.
here. Yeah, lots of features. It's got a brand new 4K restoration by Arrow Films, restored or original lossless Italian and English mono soundtracks, original Italian and English front and end titles and insert shots, audio commentary by Kat Ellinger, author of All the Colors of Sergio Martino. Is that a different book? I don't remember that one being mentioned.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good one, though. It says All the Colors of Terror, interview with co-director, director Sergio Martino. Discreet Charm of the Genre, interview with actor Luke Miranda. Dial S for Suspense, interview with co-writer Ernesto Gastaldi. Women in Blood, interview with filmmaker Frederica Martino, daughter of Sergio Martino. So that's got Martino clan. Must have interesting things they talk about at Thanksgiving. Uh, Saturating the Screen, interview with Michael J. Coven. Remember, he was like the Martin Cove like fan
Oh
club guy,
yeah, that's right.
but he's not a historian, so we can't talk about that now. Author of La Dolce Morte, Vernacular Cinema and the Italian Giallo Film. Wow, that sounds like a really good, cool book, actually. 2017, Abattoir International Horror Festival Q&A with Sergio Martino. Alternate opening and closing credits from the U.S. release, Italian and English theatrical trailers. Reversible sleeve featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Adam Rabalius. Illustrated collector's booklet featuring writing on the film by Adrian Smith and Howard Hughes. Is that like Howard Hughes? Howard Hughes?
I guess it is the Howard Hughes.
Wow. That's a packed disc, actually, and I might need to like get this because this
That's
has got a lot
cool
of cool
movie
things
too.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a good one, you know, and plus anything like all those Giallo ones. I watched one for the horror challenge. That was like a Giallo inspired one. I forgot the name of it. I gotta like look. Because I'm so behind in posting because I didn't want to post. I have like literally like I think like 14 movies I have to post on there, but for obvious reasons I couldn't post them because I don't want to give away our last summer's
Oh
vacation
yeah.
quite yet.
Yeah, I've run into
So
that
yeah, so I'm like,
problem.
oh my God, I'm so backed up with things I gotta post on there, but I figured it'd be soon enough. I'll be able to post it. But the funny thing was is it was like whatever I watched was like the whole point of this movie was like it was like Giallo inspired, and I'm like, oh okay, let me take a look at it. And it was I see where they were going with it. Oh, here it was. It was called Glass. I found it on Screenbox. So it's entertaining. But it's definitely like definitely I see where they were going with the Giallo stuff. It's very artsy and like confusing and
Oh
not sure
yeah.
what's going on. Lots of just random nakedness and weird exercising. Yeah. It's like they took all of the highlights of all the different Giallo films and put them into one attempt. It was really weird. But more modern day too. So it's very strange. Anyway, that was that one.
Next up is from Massacre Video. I had to put this one here because I just watched. So this is Anthropophagus 2000, which
There's
is
a new one, right? That's coming
yeah.
out this year too.
Oh
There's
really?
another one. Yeah, I saw it when I was looking trying to get the trailer. It said, "Oh, the new one coming out later this year or something." So
Yeah, this is a
that's not what I
remake
wanted.
of the 1980 Anthropophagus, which I watched for the horror challenge last year. Or did I watch it for the Horror 365 challenge? Maybe I
And I
watched
know
it for that.
Didn't Joe Bob show this too once, I
I think
think?
so. Yeah, he did show it one time. I don't know. I can't remember. I watched it recently, somewhat recently. I think it might have been for the horror challenge last year. And it was I had to watch it because it's got that famous cover of the guy like eating intestines or whatever.
Oh,
It was a very
yeah.
strange movie, and I just thought it was kind of neat because I'd never heard of this remake. Um, the synopsis here is a group of friends stumble into the killing grounds of a cannibalistic loner who then mercilessly stalks down the party one by one. When only a small group remains, they decide to take a stand against the murderer and fight for their lives. I like the original. I don't know anything about this remake other than it has some pretty decent extras. It's got a newly remastered, fully uncut version of the film in 166:1 ratio. Becoming the Man-Eater, an interview with Andreas Schnoz. Behind the scenes effects test footage.
You hit that one on the nose, Tim. Sorry. That was terrible.
Image gallery, including stills, original storyboards, and more. That one kind of intrigued me because
Well,
I'd
there is a
never.
couple. There's several A's, so Tim said it right.
Yeah,
Schnoz.
Schnoz.
Schnoz. It's like that
The
little video, that little girl that and then they slow it down. She goes, she becomes like a creepy crap bag
So it
kid, and
was
I
a
sent it to Kim and
schnozberry.
Kat.
And the
It does.
schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Well, honestly, I kept thinking Anthropophagus was Big Bird's friend that like only he could see, and it would go, "Oh, bird," like that. I
Hey,
thought that's who
bird.
that was. Yeah, you remember
Hey,
that he would just
bird.
come out and he goes, "Hi, bird."
Hi, bird. He was like the giant shaggy Eeyore. He just always seemed
Yeah,
kind of down to
he
me.
was like you totally said he was. He was Eeyore inspired.
We're
So
talking
maybe
about, if you guys don't know, we're talking about Mr. Snuffleupagus.
yes, Mr. Snuffleupagus. Yes,
Which
well,
if he was
that was
Mr.
my toy as a
Anthropophagus,
kid. Yeah.
if,
Oh, can you imagine that?
that'd be
That'd be a whole different kind of
definitely.
Sesame Street. You'd be see Mr. Hooper's limbs all over the place, R.I.P. because he passed away. But yeah, and I remember like when I got my like this is like one of my early memories. It's kind of funny. Like when I was when I got that adenoid surgery when I was younger. I guess I like the two things I needed in the hospital were my Snuffleupagus stuffed animal and socks, and they only brought me the Snuffleupagus. So I think my poor dad had to drive home to get my socks or something. But yeah, my OCD started at an early age apparently. So
So yeah, we only had a couple titles for
yeah,
the
that was
rest.
it really. Right.
We had The Suffering of Monique from this year. I don't know much about that film. And then Universal Classic Monsters, God bless them. They're releasing another Essential Collection 4K,
Oh my
1931
God.
to 1954. So it's if you guys have gotten the sets like Brian and I have already gotten the Dracula, Wolfman, Visible Man, Creature sets, it's the same ones. They're just releasing it in a big box, and it's usually I didn't look at the specific titles, but the Essentials I think only does like the main movies. I don't think it's
Yeah,
every
they
single
definitely don't
thing.
give all the features. They don't put Abbott and Costello on each disc 73 times. But also, I think The Suffering Monique, I just looked it up. It's a documentary of a listener to our podcast named Monique.
Oh, okay, that
Yeah,
makes
so
perfect sense.
they
Yeah.
interviewed her. They said, "Why are you always so upset?" And she goes, "I'm suffering. I have to listen to Civil Gore week after week.
I can't help myself.
I can't. I can't. It just keeps coming into my feed. I know how to remove it."
one more damn time.
I know.
Yeah. I probably own more. I will say without a doubt, I own more copies of Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein than any other movie.
I
Period.
agree with you. I think I have the same thing. Yeah. So I think we could watch it daily for a year and not use the same copy. It's like,
Oh,
yeah.
all right. So to recap, the week of September 17th, we had an Arrow release, really good Arrow release of Friday the 13th 4K from 2009. Torso 4K from 1973. That's another great Arrow release. Lots of extras on that one. Massacre Video's Anthropophagus 2000, which is the remake of the 1980 film. And then a couple of extras here. The Suffering of Monique from this year, and another re-release of the Universal Classic Monsters Essential Collection 4K, which I do not have these on 4K, but I don't know. How much better can they look? I'd like to see a side-by-side
That's
of
the thing.
these.
It's like I think the Blu-rays were always such a good quality, and most TVs would kind of look so good. Like, I mean, like, granted, if you're going from 4K to probably from regular DVD, you probably notice a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are differences. Like if you start watching regularly, like those really good remastered 4K ones, but they're already talking about 8K stuff, and so it's like, do I really want to jump into the 4K bandwagon when they're going to come out with something even better? Then I can't keep replacing discs over and over
No.
again. At some level,
And
that
I don't know
like,
how much better you can get a 1933 movie. I mean, honestly,
oh
the
yeah,
the Blu-rays look amazing. The black and white, black
yeah,
and white always looks so good on Blu-ray anyway.
it
But they
does,
already
yeah.
look amazing. I can't imagine that they're that much better. I might have to go look up a comparison side by side thing. But
And
yeah,
even those sometimes though I question because like, what side of the fence you're on. You're trying to push it so you'll like clear up the image on like really well on the 4K
yeah,
one to so it's like, yeah. I mean, I'd have
uh,
to like watch it myself. And granted, I mean, I'm not saying like I'm all for the best quality of the film being shown, but at some levels, like if it looks better than it did when you watched it originally, there's almost something like, but like was it needed, Was it needed to clean up something that was like, it's fine to clean it up to make it look like it's like, so it doesn't look like crappy if it's like really old, but like you're looking at something from like last year, right? And you're releasing it on Blu-ray and it looks great, just like you remembered it seeing it in the theater. And now you're gonna like upgrade it, make it sharper and take out things that were never originally there in the first place and add color to it and add this to it. I don't know how I feel about that all the time.
well, the thing is, you're not going to notice most of the stuff. You're not going to notice unless you're comparing a 4K beside a non 4K in the same room, which nobody's ever going to do
Yeah.
unless they're reviewing a disc. You in your home setting, you're not going to have that comparison, and you're not going to realize what you're missing.
Right. And also, it's like, how many times? Are you inviting like everyone over all the time to watch it? Like, I mean, just to me, Blu-ray and like a really good Blu-ray copy. I'm more bored, and I'd rather have more like the surround sound. I want that because that's the capture you want to feel like
Yeah,
from
yeah.
like honestly, you go to a movie theater, like like half the time you see the scratch in the screen anyway. I see all the time, and I always see something like off on the screen. So it's like
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know.
Oh gosh, let's see. Last week of September, this is usually the big release week,
It
and this
really
has some.
wasn't.
It really
I
wasn't.
don't.
Although I will say, Vinegar Syndrome did come out with some neat titles this week.
They did, but
First one up though is not a Vinegar Syndrome. This is a Shout Factory, and this is Village of the Damned 4K, and this is the remake from 1995. A small town is visited by some unknown life form, which leaves the women of the village pregnant. 9 months later, the babies are born. This one has some great extras though. Disc one is a 4K Blu-ray with a new 4K restoration from the original camera negative. New audio commentary with filmmakers Jackson Stewart and Francis Galuppi. Disc
Jackson
two
Stewart's
is
getting into his commentary game here.
yeah, he is. He is.
I like it.
Disc 2 is the regular Blu-ray, which has a new Beware the Stare, Writing Village of the Damned, an interview with screenwriter David Himmelstein. New March of the Children, composing Village of the Damned, an interview with film music historian Daniel Schweiger.
But remember him. I saw him in that movie. He's in Free Enterprise, so I couldn't like he kind of gets a
Oh,
pass because I knew too much about him
you knew
already
too much
before
about
he.
him already. Okay.
Yeah, so I really can't know him. And he's like it's funny in the movie. He almost like a caricature of himself anyway, so I couldn't really improve on him.
Hmm. It takes a village, the Making a Village of the Damned featurette, Horror's Hallowed Grounds, which I always love those, revisiting the
Yeah.
locations of the film, The Go-To Guy in My Career with John Carpenter by Peter Jason, vintage interviews and behind-the-scenes footage, image gallery, and theatrical trailer. So pretty good disc for that kind of I don't know, I would say overlooked. I don't remember much about it. I don't remember if it was good or not, but
It says
uh,
1995.
yeah, I
Oh
remember
wait,
when that came out.
is this the
The re-
remake then?
yes, the remake, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the original. I put the original trailer on there. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
didn't
no,
realize
no,
this
yeah,
was
this
the
was. I
remake.
don't remember. I don't remember if I ever even saw this one. Honestly,
Yeah, I
I've
don't
seen
think
the
I saw this
original,
one. I
but
read the original.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember the original. I don't think I've seen this one actually. Oh, interesting. I have to check it out. Next one is the ones that Tim was mentioning, the Vinegar Syndrome ones.
yeah.
First one is Bloodbath at the House of Death. It says 6 scientists arrive at the creepy Headstone Manor. Do you think there's like the butler there? Like, and who would win in a battle of Headstone Manor versus like Frost Manor's like softball teams? You know, like if they had a cool like thing, that'd be neat. That's an inside joke. Sorry for everyone. I know the people that need to know that joke will get it and laugh. Sorry. Anyway, Headstone Manor investigate a strange phenomena which was the site of a mysterious massacre years earlier when 18 guests were killed in one night. Turns out that the house is the place of a satanic cult led by a sinister monk who plans to kill the scientists who are inhabiting the house of Satan. There's a lot going on there.
Uh-huh.
But this got a good set here. It's got a 4K restoration from the original negative. It's got commentary track with film historians and writers Jonathan Rigby and Kevin Lyons. They're a little bit of a pair. So Jonathan Rigby, of course, he's related to Kathy Rigby, the famous Olympian and Peter Pan portrayer. However, that's where the similarities end, Tim, because Jonathan hates gymnastics and Peter Pan. Interesting fact when he gets together with John J. Johnson, Kevin Lyons, and Alan Barnes to play golf, John insists they call the team the Fantastic Four. Which, I don't know why that cracks me every time.
FORE, by the way, if you didn't
Yeah,
know from our puns.
yes.
But
And Kevin Lyons, it's hosted a movie review show in college in the campus radio station called Inside the Lion's Den. Also, fun fact, he's heir to the Lions restaurant chain. Interesting fact, once again, is he goes, yeah, I was just joking. I'm not gonna read it all again, but he, of course, is part of the Fantastic Four. I don't know why that one gets me every time. It's so stupid.
that's why it's so stupid. It's
Oh
funny,
gosh,
like
yeah.
our entire podcast.
It really, but for some reason that one just was like so stupid. Why? I think you know what gave me the inspiration because it's like the J. Jem Johnson was like J. Jonah Jameson, and it was like right
Yeah.
there. All of it was
Yes.
right
Oh my
there
gosh.
for the
Yeah.
taking. So I had to do it. But anyways, so let's move on to Tim.
Speaking of
People
which,
probably
that new
sick of me.
Fantastic Four movie looks good.
It does, yeah. I know. I'm actually excited for it.
I'm glad they went back to like the '60s aesthetic. Like that's exactly where that movie needed to be.
'Cause that
But
last one, with the recent one they did was just
yeah,
so. Oh, I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love the ones with you know, with Chris Evans and all that stuff. You know that one. You know, but you can't do. Obviously, now that he became Captain America, you couldn't ever continue that storyline in the Marvel
yeah.
universe.
I didn't really. Well,
Um,
I didn't really like those. I think the Fantastic Four as a superhero team is kind of is so goofy in a way that it kind of makes sense that you have to put it back. You have to set it back in
yeah.
time
Well,
of
what's
its
weird is
era.
think about like that whole thing, right? So they've had the famous infamous I should say one with Roger Corman, right? That never really got
Right.
released. It only got a
Yeah.
fan, which I did see, and I see why they didn't, but I still would have been happy with it if they released it. Um, but then and then they had the other ones, the Jessica Alba time, which I like. I like. I see what Tim gets. I liked it, but there was one thing that irks me through those movies, and I think it's my own thing. I can't really blame the movies, but for some reason, was it who played? It was Julian McMahon that played Doctor Doom in that,
That might.
right? And
Yeah. It might have been. Yeah.
it always bothered me when he was Doctor Doom. He had the same voice. There was no metallic kind of like echo properly done or something, and it always sounded like he was just dubbing his voice over it. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, I mean, not that Doctor Doom, like, I don't know what he's supposed to sound like, I guess, because all I know of him is the comic books and like cartoons, and they can't really base it off of that either necessarily for voice. But it's not like I expected him like a robot, like I am Doctor Doom. I just expected like the guy is like burnt and wearing this baby should have sounded a little different, and he
Well,
just
but
didn't.
he does it. You've seen the cartoons. You've seen Doctor
He
Doom in
does, right?
cartoons.
Yeah,
He
and I
does
remember
sound
he
different.
Yeah, so at least made him different. And that was the one thing that kind of bugged me in it. Although I do love Doug Jones' Silver Surfer in the second one. I did like
He
the
was
Silver
that
Surfer.
was good. Yeah. I
But
mean,
I
I
have to
didn't.
say the trailer for that was kind of like almost like creepy. It was like kind of spooky thing, like the Silver Surfer coming, not knowing what was coming, and it's like coming down there and
I
it's like
saw
I
that
mean
one
it
in
had
the
its own
theater.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it had its own like charm to it. But the last one I don't know, it just never seemed like they hit it right. Like they're not the right age, not the
Yeah.
right
They've always been
I,
miscast or something. I don't know. I think I have high hopes for this new one. Like this has to be the one that lands finally.
yeah.
But anyway,
Although I have to say, I mean, I did like a lot of people. I kind of liked what's his face as Reed Richards in the first two. Ian, I was it Ian or Ian Gruffold? You know however you say his
yeah.
name, but
I
I
will
didn't think he
say,
was
as much as
bad.
I love Pedro Pascal, I'm not entirely sold on him as Reed Richards, but we'll see.
If anyone could pull it off, though, he's going to pull it off. I
I
think because
love him
he's
to death. Don't get me wrong, I
yeah.
love him to death, but he's not but he's
Well, that
like
was the
in
thing. I
everything.
thought like Ian Gruffold had the look of him, sad
Right? Yeah,
down
yeah.
from what I
Pedro Pascal does
remember.
not have the look of Reed Richards at all.
No, he doesn't. But then again, it's like, you know what? Yeah, like we're basing it off the exact comics, and we know now they have done different things with
Yeah.
characters. So let's see. I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I hope they hit the mark this time, and it's the proper thing that stays in the new Marvel universe here.
And this has
Um,
been the Fantastic Four
yeah, I know.
podcast.
Sorry, we went way off
Civil
tangent, but
4.
that's normal. Yeah, Civil
Yeah.
War. Okay. Anyway. Okay, I think now you at least got
Okay, let's see.
the
Yes,
next
we
movie
had.
here.
Oh yeah. Oh, we had more extras there. We had.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right.
we
I
left off
stopped
with
at that
Kevin
one.
Lyons took us on a crazy
Yeah, look what
detour.
he did. Him and his Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Anyway, Crying with Laughter. An interview with co-writer Barry Cryer. That's like something we would make up.
Yeah.
An interview with producer Stuart D. Donaldson. Running the Blood Bath. They'll look back at making of a cult classic. Archival featurette, UK trailer, US trailer, still gallery, reversible sleeve artwork.
All right. Next up from Vinegar
Sorry, it's
Syndrome,
dry in here. I need a drink of water.
another one from Vinegar Syndrome here. Devil Times 5 4K from 1974. Another birth year movie I gotta watch. 5 extremely disturbed sociopathic children escape from their psychiatric transport and are taken unwittingly by a group of adult villagers on winter vacation. That sounds kind of like an interesting premise.
Yeah. What does that
Creepy
mean
crap bag
unwittingly,
film.
though? What did they do? They just like they climb in their
Yeah,
car
how
and
do you
didn't see them, or
accidentally take 5 kids? You don't ever
yeah.
accidentally take 5 kids on vacation.
Yeah.
Trust
I
me.
mean, I hear there's more of a chance of people accidentally leaving 5 kids
Yeah,
somewhere.
exactly.
But
This
yeah.
one has a brand new a new 4K restoration from the original camera negative, a brand new commentary track with The Hysteria Continues, archival commentary track
Yes.
with actresses Joan McCall and Dawn Lynn, producer Michael Blowitz, and uncredited co-director David Sheldon, moderated by
What?
Darren Gross.
Why couldn't Michael Blowitz be a film historian?
I know. Oh my god. I don't even want to think about it. It's
I already
just,
know
it's,
it. I already know
uh,
his thing.
Puppeteering, an interview with second assistant director Walter Dominguez. Daddy's Home, an interview with Bruce Wank, there's another good one for the film
Another
historian.
one.
Bruce Wank, son of executive producer Jordan M. Wank.
Hey, come on,
Holiday
that's gotta be a porno, like called Daddy's Home. Remember, Daddy's Home, starring Bruce Wank and Jordan Wank. Come on, is someone
Holiday,
pranking us, Tim? Did someone
I know.
hack into Cone? Did you do this?
Uh,
Did you sneak in here? And
Holiday from Hell, an interview with Nightmare USA author Stephen Thrower, who poor
Oh,
guy
geez.
has not been a film historian in years. I don't think.
yeah, did he like forget to pay his film historian dues?
Apparently, because he
Yeah.
was one at one time. Archival featurette comprising interviews with actors T.R. Turner, Joan McCall, Dawn Lynn, producer Michael Blowitz, and co-director David Sheldon. Bonus archival interviews, theatrical trailer, alternate Devil Times 5 title card, and reversible sleeve artwork.
Devil times 5.
Devil Times 5.
5, 2 devil. Okay. Hell's Trap from Vinegar Syndrome is next up from 1989. It says 7 young people go to a desolated forest looking for a bear. What they don't know is that a crazy Vietnam vet lives there, and he's waiting for fresh blood.
Where are they looking for a bear?
I know. Did they just say, like, guys, man, you know what? Like, the concert got canceled. Well, we're all here. There's 7
some
of us.
woods over
Let's
there.
just go look for a bear. Oh, my God.
I think there's questions I need answered here.
Yeah, they do. Because I don't think I've ever had a discussion with my group of friends and trying to figure out what to do for the night. And I don't think ever did, hey, let's go look for a bear come up.
No.
I can guarantee that.
No.
Okay. Well, there is a 4K restoration from the 35mm archival positives. The Making of Hell's Trap, 8 minutes, which is an interview with producer Eduardo Galindo, Mexican special effects, an interview with special effects artist Jorge Farfan. I almost said it wrong.
Farfan?
Farfan? I thought it,
Farfan?
I thought it said Farton, but I don't know. Well, that was like on Impractical Jokers. I meant to say it before when you talk about Helena Bonham Carter. There's a bit they do. I don't know if you ever watched the show, but there's a bit where they make the guys laugh because they have to call out names in like a waiting room,
Yeah.
and one of them was Helena Bottom Farter. They said, and like they had to say it and they couldn't do it. Anyway, from super blonde to movie villain, an interview with actress Marisol Santa Cruz. Oh, that's right near me, Santa Cruz. Reversible sleeve artwork.
Very nice. Yeah, this is that's a weird premise, but I'll go with it. Next
Yeah.
up from this one is from Kino Lorber. This is actually a cool movie. I watched this one for
Yeah,
a
that's
challenge.
Elizabeth Shue vehicle. I like this one.
Yeah, Link 4K from 1986. A zoology student must try to outsmart a murderous and super intelligent orangutan. So this one was previously restored in 4K by Studio Canal and has an audio commentary by our friends, film historian Lee Gambon and film critic Jarrett Gahan.
Yes. Well, we went to Gambit before, right? But we did,
Yeah, we've talked about it,
just so you
Gambon.
know, yeah, Jarrett Gahan, he hates when you call him Jared, with the D because it's Jarrett, but he loves when you call him Gahan Solo. Fortunately, Jarrett though is reduced to a poor man's John Harrison when he teams up with Lee Gambit. I love when it like the description is right there and it
Well,
blends in with the actual
He's a
person.
film critic, not a film historian. Why does he get a
Where?
bio?
Oh, because you know why? Because he blended in with Lee Gambit.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
he got a promotion. He should not
Well,
have done.
he was, yeah. In fairness, he was mostly a film historian, so we'll cut him some slack.
I like Gahan Solo, so I'll let it ride.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
let it go.
he's yeah.
This one's a deleted work print scenes, audio interview with director Richard Franklin, Jerry Goldsmith demo of the Link theme, theatrical trailers, and teaser. That's a cool movie if you guys haven't seen it. It's actually,
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it in a while. Actually, it's due for a rewatch.
it's actually better than the ridiculous premise.
It is. It like and it was actually you would think it's like it would kind of be like really like goofy and stupid, but it's actually pretty like there's some good like horror sequences in there.
Yeah,
So
they play it straight. It's actually really good. And it's got
yeah,
Elizabeth Shue, which I'll watch anything with Elizabeth Shue.
yes, exactly. It's a shoe in
Okay.
for a good time.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
I'll let you
That was
take
sad.
the rest of. So we have a few
Okay.
other titles that we just didn't feel
Yeah.
like deserved
Yeah,
full feature rundown.
well, I know the first one because Tim just hates this movie, even though I liked it. Was The Wounded Fawn from 2022. The
Yeah.
Exorcism. That's that newest one, I guess.
That's the new Russell
this is
Crowe
that.
one.
Yeah, this is that good set that I got. That's really like worth it for the documentary alone, and it's also the only way you can get the seventh film in the series, Paranormal Activity 8 movie collection, and that has all the movies plus the Paramount exclusive one, and then the documentary, which is really really good. On the history of the film because it just goes into cool how it started the hysteria, how they got the build up for it, and actually there's still another one coming out, right? There's a new
I think
right
so.
we
Yeah.
read there's another one coming out, so you might as well buy this now and then just rebuy it again in a couple of years now. There's also Here for Blood. That was that good one on Screenbox.
Yeah.
T Blockers, The Profane Exhibit, La Llorona. This is the original from 1933, which I wouldn't mind seeing that because I feel like they never captured La Llorona good. I mean, even though Linda Cardellini was like really good in it, I just feel like that, it just there was like too many La Lloronas like came out at once like the last
Yeah, that was
year.
weird. Like at
Yeah.
least two came out, right? Right at
Yeah,
right
it was at
beside each
least
other.
two, and then a show, I think, right? Like a little like mini series or something. I was like, what did that like? Did everyone spin the same like what movie to make this year, like roulette wheel or something?
Yeah.
Because felt like it was like everything was like La Llorona that year, and I can't even still say it right. Although Julie pronounces it perfectly, she does it just because I was trying to say it yesterday because I think there's a La Llorona like themed thing at Knott's Scary Farm this year, and I was trying to read it, and she kept looking at me and what? I'm like, La Llorona. She goes, you mean La Llorona? And said it perfectly. I can't say it.
I can't do the rolling
It's,
R thing.
yeah, I don't do it well. It's like as
I'm
far as to
better
me, it's La Llorona.
I'm better at the German hawking phlegm up from the back of your throat, like.
Yeah, and also if not yet, I think I've already emailed him this, but Jeff Whitmire does not make a like La Llorona song to My Sharona, I'm going to be very, very disappointed.
Yes, I know.
I'm going to have to
you're right.
text him after this and remind him that, that one still is a good one he needs to make. That one and Victor Crowley to Mr. Crowley from Ozzy Osbourne. I mean,
Oh,
you're
man,
right
that's like
there.
obvious.
There's two. Those are like, that's like to him,
Those
that's
are
like that little
gimmies.
like, that little dunk little 2 foot
Yeah, like a
layup.
tap it in.
Yeah,
Little bit
tap it in.
tap it.
Oh yeah, and I can't wait for that. Oh, Happy
Oh,
Gilmore
Happy
2.
Gilmore
I'm
2.
so
Oh
excited.
man, I am so excited.
Yeah,
And
and
Adam
they are.
Sandler's got he's got a Netflix special coming out tomorrow, I think.
Well,
Stand up
right, you're right.
special.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, to me, it's anything Adam Sandler, I'm gonna probably I'd watch, and the fact that Happy Gilmore, I still want him to do a sequel to Billy Madison, although I don't think he could with because of course Norm Macdonald's not around anymore, and either is Darren McGavin, so I don't know, but they
Yeah.
could get Bradley Whitford back at least.
I feel like they're
Okay.
gonna. I feel like he really wants to do Happy Gilmore 2 justice. Like the way he's talked, like they're really
And he's
trying to
not a
make it
big
good.
sequel guy, if you notice. He
Yeah,
did the Transylvania ones and he did Grown Ups too, but he usually, if you notice, a lot of his big movies before that, he doesn't do sequels that often.
yeah.
He's not a big sequel guy.
I think they're gonna really try to make it good.
Yeah, it's just
But
sad that Carl Weathers can't be in it.
I
In
know.
even in a, obviously his character passed away in the first one, but of course in real life he passed away now. But what I love is that everyone is so on board for it.
Yeah. Well, Grandma passed away too.
Oh, right, yeah, Francis Bay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, so half that cast honestly is not there anymore. But even Joe Flaherty and Richard Kiel,
Oh, you're
right?
right. Yeah, yeah, you're
So
right.
it's literally half that cast is gone.
Yeah.
But obviously the two most important people, Adam Sandler and Shooter McGavin, are going to be called him by his
Shooter McGavin. He just called him by
Christopher
his character.
McDonald. Christopher
Yeah.
McDonald are there, and so of course those two are going to be or the meat of that that rivalry. So I'm definitely looking forward to that one. So
All right. Last one here was the Steelbook of the Stand from
I forgot the
1994.
Stand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's it. So just to recap, we had Village of the Damned 4K from 1995, the remake. Bloodbath at the House of Death from 1984 from Vinegar Syndrome. Devil Times 5 4K from Vinegar Syndrome 1974. Hell's Trap from 1989. Another Vinegar Syndrome. All of those were really good collector's editions with a lot of good extras. Kino Lorber's Link 4K from 1986, which is a great horror monkey movie if you haven't seen it. And the rest of them, we had A Wounded Fawn, The Exorcism from 2024. It's the recent Russell Crowe vehicle, which I guess he's apparently just playing Exorcist from now
Hey,
on.
is that all
I mean,
he's
that's
got
all he
now?
does.
Yeah.
And I missed. They had it that the Exorcism was filmed in my city, and I missed the premiere, which they had at our local playhouse, and Dee Snider was there because his production company was affiliated with this somehow. I really wish I could have gone and met Dee Snider.
I like Dee Snider. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, he's a really cool dude.
He was so good in Hollister.
Yeah. He's good in everything. He's good in everything. Here for Blood from 2022, T-Blockers from last year, The Profane Exhibit from 2013, and La Llorona from 1933. And then the Stand Steelbook from 1994. So, yeah, that was September. We went a little bit over an hour, but we went on some crazy tangents too. I hope you guys enjoyed that. As you know, these dismemberments are always kind of our off-the-cuff, unstructured. Just this is really me and Brian just casually chatting about horror movies. This is kind of our unfiltered, raw episode, and I think that's what people like about him. So we'll be back here next week for the big month, always the biggest month of horror releases, October, and we will have more great Blu-ray releases for you then.
Yes.
So take care, and we'll see you back here next month.
Yeah.